Example 1. You have been hired by your neighbors to babysit their children on Friday night. You are paid $8 per hour. Copy and complete the table relating your pay to the number of hours you worked. Then answer the questions that follow. All right, so you need to copy this table into your notes. And then we're going to fill in how much money we earn based on how many hours we work. So if we work 1 hour, we make $8. Now, since our table is labeled in dollars, we don't have to label our number in our table. When we work 2 hours, 2 times 8 is 16. 3 hours, 3 times 8 is 24. 4 hours, 8 times 4 is 32. 4.5 hours. Now notice this only goes up by a half hour. So if we only work half of that 1 hour, we're only going to make $4 more. So when we do this, we only want to increase by 4. So it would be 36. 5 hours, $40. 6 hours, $48. And then 6.5. So again, there's that other half, just like we had up here at 4.5. So if we increase by 4 more, it'd be 52. All right, let's look at our questions. The first one says, based on the table, is the pay proportional to the hours worked? So we're talking about pay proportional to the hours worked, and how do you know? Okay, we're going to go back to our table. When we're looking at tables and we're talking about proportionality, we always compare these in the order that they're listed. So in this one, it was pay to hours worked. Sorry, my pen kind of dragged. Hours worked. So if we're looking at our table, this would be our X column and this would be our Y column. And hopefully that's something you remember from last year. We took our X number, we times it by something, and we got our Y number. All right, so we're going to go through and compare all of these. So our first one would be 8 to 1. Which equals 8. Our next one, 16 to 2, which when we simplify becomes 8. 24 to 3, which becomes 8. 32 to 4, which becomes 8. 36 to 4.5. If you're using your calculator, you can do it as 0.5, which would simplify down to 8. 40 to 5, which simplifies down to 8. 48 to 6, which simplifies down to 8. And then 52 to 6.5, which simplifies down to 8. So because all of these simplify down to the same ratio, we know that yes, our table is proportional. Yes, get a little in there. Yes, all ratios are equivalent. All right, our next question says to describe the relationship between the amount of money earned or pay and the number of hours worked. Oop, camera focus here. Our type of relationship is that it is proportional. So this relationship is proportional because all ratios have the same value. Okay, and our last question. How can multiplication and division be used to show the earnings are proportional to the number of hours worked? So if we think back to our table, to start with, we took 8 times each of our hours worked and we got our pay. But when we were checking that table for proportionality, we used our ratio, pay to hours worked, and we divided. So since multiplication and division are kind of related operations, we can use both of those to find if something is proportional or not. So for this case, we started with hours worked times 8, and that gave us our pay. But then we did pay divided by hours worked, and we got that constant of 8.